Hello everyone. This time I'm going to show you how to get Windows 10 installed if you have to install it on your current machine, or and if you're building a computer you need to install Windows 10 on it and didn't, for some reason get a physical copy, like a flash drive is what I'm saying from retail. It's really simple. Microsoft just lets you do it, lets you download Windows 10 anyways. So if I show you how to do that, just open up your browser. You can use Google, whatever search engine you want. Just type in Windows 10 download, and when you hit enter, it should be like your first maybe link, depends, but what you want to do is get to a page that looks like this. Don't care, go away. Then what you would do is you would click on the download tool now button. This actually is it's what it is, a tool. It downloads 10 onto your computer, and then it lets you either go through the process to install it on the machine you're currently using, like you actually are in Windows to get to this part obviously, or to save it onto a flash drive to install onto another computer, or other methods if you want to as well. But this would be like your easiest way to do it. So all you would really do is you would click on download now. It's going to then download the little file down here. Now you can go to it yourself, or you can just click on the file. It should probably ask you, you probably won't see that, but there's a little prompt that would show up saying yes or no if you want to allow it to run this tool. This will pop up. Let it do its thing, and you would hit accept. And this can take some time, each process at least. So you would choose this one if you're on a computer that you're looking to upgrade to Windows 10. Say for example like Windows 7 or Windows 8 or 8.1, you would use this if you were to do it this way, where it may save your information if you were to do it that way. I don't ever trust upgrades for specific reasons, but if that's your only way to install 10 on the machine, go right ahead. But honestly, your best bet is to have this, is to create media, either a DVD or an ISO file. ISO file is an actual like file that is Windows 10, which you can then burn onto like a disk, or you can use this into like a virtual machine, stuff like that. But what we'll do is we're gonna do this and then go from there. So you would select that, hit next. You can have this box checked if you want. It really depends, but if you want to check it, you have the option to select what you want, choose whatever language you would want. It's just going to show Windows 10 for an edition, at least for this download. You can do both 32-bit or 64-bit. I tend to do both as the download, just in case, even though you won't get too many older machines that you might want to put 10 on it at this point. But what it is that if you do 32-bit, it does limit you quite a bit. This is essentially, you would put this on a computer that has less than 4 gigs of RAM. But most computers now probably have that, at least that amount, I want to say. Maybe 8 gigs at this point as your minimum. But at that point you would hit 64-bit, so anything that's 4 gigs or more for your RAM, you would use this. But I do both. I have to create a flash drive anyways, so that's where I figured out why I record this. And I do both for the reason of some stupid reason, just in case I have to install it as a 32-bit system. I do both. You could do 64-bit if you want to, but whatever you end up choosing, you then hit next here. You can do an ISO file. I'm going to be using a flash drive. So you just would choose USB flash drive. You hit next. Now, if you don't already have it plugged in, which I don't yet, so I'm going to plug that in now. You then will have probably a tone that will, play. If you have headphones or speakers, you should hear something when your drive is plugged in. Once it's plugged in, you can hit refresh drive list. It's going to show you, what the drive would be. Obviously, in this case, it's going to be, G for me. Yours might be just D. It might be E. It could be any letter of the alphabet. It won't be C. It shouldn't be C. But yeah, that's what you would really do, in the list here. But once you select it, you would hit next. Let it do its thing. Now this will take a while, based on how fast your internet speed may be, if you're on Wi-Fi or on wired connection. Typically, if you have a desktop, you should be on a wired connection, but most desktops nowadays, if you buy one, they tend to come with Wi-Fi built into it, besides an Ethernet connection, which is a physical cable going from the router to the computer. If you can reach it with the cable, there isn't really much of a reason to go wireless, unless you don't want to deal with the cable routing, but at least have a solid connection. On a laptop, you can do whatever you want. Most newer laptops are thin, so they're probably not going to have Ethernet jack. But like I said, this could take some time. Okay, so it is finished now. It actually will let you know that it's ready and good to go and stuff like that. All you really got to do, once it does say this, you can actually click on here. It actually will open up the drive. It's like in a window. I have it off to a second screen. I'm not going to pull it over, but if you click it, just show you that I actually created it. Now, if you decide to do both 64 and 32-bit, it will take longer. If you do one of them, then it could probably cut the time in half, if that. So, but once that's done, you could just hit finish. It's just closing everything out for that. And then you could take the flash drive, put it into another computer. You make sure it's off, and then you would turn the computer on. If it's a brand new build, typically most of your computers, as you first turn it on, it should just see the flash drive, considering there's no Windows installed in there at all. But if you're doing it on an existing machine, you'd have to probably go into your BIOS or your boot menu, and that can be, you can get access to that in many different ways. Either hitting delete on your keyboard or escape, F2, F1, F9, F11, 12. It depends on the manufacturer, but most of your custom builds, like you buy the part yourself and put together, or have someone else put together for you, those tend to be your average keys. It's like escape and delete to get into your BIOS, to then change your boot priority to the flash drive itself. But what I'm going to do, just to kind of show you what the install process looks like for Windows 10, or how it should look like, I'll put this in a virtual machine and kind of go through the steps and the screens that you're going to see. So let me get that going, and then we'll go from there. Okay, all right, so I have this in a virtual machine. So you might see this if you get a retail one. I can't remember if it does have both, but either way, if you have both 32-bit and 64-bit on your drive or image file, you'll get this option. If you just have 64-bit or 32-bit, it should just load, but we're going to choose 64-bit here, and let's get rid of this. You're going to see this go through. It looks probably a little bit weird just because of how it's set up, so I go back and forth and so I do keyboard shortcuts for everything. So you'll see this. You just choose your language. Right now I'm just going to show English because that's all I really have selected. You hit next. You do install now. Now, if you already have a Windows key, put it in here. But for the time being, you don't have to put it in here if you don't want to right away. But you could just type it in, so then select or save it to that, and that would be it. But what I tend to do, no matter what I end up installing it on, I always don't have a product key, just so I can get something started. And then you have the option of what you want to install. I forgot what N is. I think N is like some kind of corporate, or like it removes certain things, or has, I can't remember what N was. But we're just gonna do Pro for now, just because it gives you more features to be with encryption and group policy editor. But that's kind of a different story, but you can actually enable that within Home as well. But just for the time being, choose whatever you have purchased. It would be Home or Pro. You hit next. You'll get this. No one ever reads it. Just hit next. If you do an upgrade, that means you're taking from an existing OS to Windows 10. If you've already backed up all your information, I would just do a custom install. Select the drive. You don't have to hit new. You can just hit next. Just let it go through. Now this shouldn't take too long because, well, at least in my case, it shouldn't take too long how I have it set up. But in yours might take longer based on whether you have it onto a DVD drive, or DVD I mean, or if it is a flash drive, it can be faster as well. But just let this go through. So now we're on this. We're just gonna turn this, or I can't turn that off, can I? Anyways, you might have Cortana speaking with you at this time. Just mute her unless you really need to have, like, she can help you assist of selecting this stuff if you're not capable of doing it yourself. But choose your country. You hit yes to then, select it, whatever language you want for your keyboard. You hit yes. You can add another one if you want. If you want other keyboard layouts as far as language wise, but we'll just skip that for now. Normally during this installation process, Windows 10 is getting the information about your computer's hardware, just so that when it does activate it, it's best if you have a Microsoft account. I'll get more to that. So I don't think Home does this, but Pro, you'll get this option. Just do for set for personal use, unless it is for business, but that's a different thing. Now this here, you don't have to sign into a Microsoft account if you don't want to. We're just going to do an offline account for now. Limited experience. We'll just do your name, whatever you want to have it as. Put a password if you want to put a password. I'm not going to have one. Again, it's just the template, just showing you how to do it. I turn all of this stuff off unless you have a corporation that needs it on, but it is not at all important. Then hit accept. We'll hit no because it's not really relevant, but you can hit yes if you want to. I don't really care for Cortana, but you can hit accept on that if you want to. So now Windows 10, it's still thinking. It's going to get to your desktop eventually here. The whole like this may take several minutes. It can be several minutes. It could be a few minutes, you know, whether it be like 2 or 3 minutes, it could be 10 minutes. All it's doing is trying to, I think, look for updates at the same time while it's just getting more information and putting everything in the right places for Windows. And there you are. You have Windows 10 installed on your computer. This is gonna bug me if I don't change this, even though I'm gonna get rid of this VM anyways. It looks way better than before. So plain looking Windows 10. You can start doing whatever you want with it. I would suggest, you know, it's still gonna be doing updates anyways, but go to start and settings and scroll down to update and security, and then just check for updates. In the same window, actually I'll go back here, it does say Windows isn't activated. You can click on this. I'm not going to, but what you would do is you would go to update and security, and it would show activation. Oh, it's actually attempted. I don't remember that, trying to search for it. So but that's how you would be able to activate Windows, is you can enter that key in if you didn't do it already prior to it. But that's how you would install Windows 10 from scratch. Hopefully this kind of helped you out a little bit in how to get 10 going. How I kind of do things in order is Windows updates, look for drivers for your board. You can install an antivirus if you have one. If not, Windows 10 has a pretty decent one built into it. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you did, and I'll keep trying to make up some videos that might work out in some fashion to help you understand how things what they're supposed to look like when you're trying to get things going. I'm not sure how it works today, I guess. But you guys enjoy. See ya.